Hey guys, so I want to talk a little bit about the biblical foundations behind self-love because I do think that it's really important to establish that self-love biblically is very different than what our modern day society would say it is. I think they would say that it's followed by feelings or follow your heart, and when Proverbs says like there's a way that seems right to a man but in the end it leads to death, like that is the epitome of our modern day world and what they think self-love is. But I believe that biblical self-love is actually sometimes painful, sometimes requires sacrifice. It means letting go of man's perceptions of who they say that you are and looking to God and saying, God, who do you say that I am? And then choosing to believe that version of yourself and live out of that version. So, but there's this tension within the church where it's like, but Jesus says, deny yourself. How am I supposed to love myself? And what's the difference? And I've been asking the Lord that too, because I'll go to these conferences where these evangelists are like, deny yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to deny myself. But wait, what does that mean? Because God, you're also telling me to love myself. And the truth is like deny yourself means like denying the parts of you that were inherited by the fall of man. Deny the parts of you that were never even meant to be a part of you to begin with. Deny the parts of you that would choose what seems right, but in the end it leads to death, or choose evil over God's best. Jesus isn't saying deny the part of you that was actually chosen. It says in scripture that God chose you before he even set the foundations of the earth, and he set you apart. And Psalm 139, like he uniquely formed you in your mother's womb, and you are wonderfully made. And I just believe that every individual at their core, apart from sin, is meant to be celebrated. So yeah, it's like establishing the difference between that is really important, because self-love can often, people could think that it's pride, but it's not pride at all. Like, I believe it's the most humble approach you can take, because loving yourself is essentially loving God, because you're God's creation. So once you acknowledge like, oh yeah, I am meant to love myself, this isn't pride, this isn't selfish, because often self-love requires sacrifice. I think it can free you into being like, oh, okay, so I'm going to do this and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. And when you look at that word, love your neighbor as yourself, the word love there are different versions of love within scripture, but that word love is agape, and agape means sacrificial love. It means if I were to love you with agape love, it would mean that I want what's best for you, even if it cost me. It's the word used when it says that Jesus laid his life down for us in scripture. And so yeah, it is this sacrificial love. And so what does it mean for us to love ourselves sacrificially? And I want to talk a little bit about that later and give some practical examples. But yeah, so there is a biblical foundation for self-love. And if any of you were wondering if, this was even okay to love yourself like that, like it is. So be free. You are a daughter or a son of the King, and you're so worthy of being celebrated. Not only by people, not only by God, but by you. So own it. Bless you guys.